You know, I used to think that if I just believed enough, prayed enough, or went to church enough, the pain would go away. That somehow faith meant you didn't have to feel broken anymore. But that's not real life, because the truth is, even with faith, there are nights when your mind gets loud, your heart feels heavy, and you start to wonder if God still sees you. I've been there. There was a time in my life when I really questioned my faith. I was around, it was around the time I lost my grandmother in my arms on Easter after performing CPR. I lost 3 people the years before, and my dog of 16 years, who was my best friend, 2 weeks after I lost my grandmother. I didn't understand why I was losing everything that meant so much to me. It's a circle of life. I know that. But all those people saw me, didn't judge me, and were always there for me. Simple conversations with them made me feel like I can do anything, even though I know I can do anything. They validated those things for me. So losing them, I felt like I lost that validation. But I see now, it all has a purpose. I'd had an addiction problem that stemmed back to being a teenager. I was exposed to it from family. I don't hold that against them. I still love them, and they're all doing good now. But I saw why they were doing it. It helped numb everything. I always had to be the parent. I had to grow up fast. My dad wasn't around. And when he was, I just had responsibilities. I had responsibilities from a young age. Not saying it's a bad thing, and it helped form who I am as a person. But the only time I got to be a kid was with my grandparents. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that can relate. But besides that addiction was the new thing for me. What I thought could help me keep going another day. I remember one night where I was on the floor in my daughter's room, and I just fell to the floor on my knees, and I just begged God for mercy. This was after my grandmother passed. I begged him to stop with the mind games and stop playing with my heart. And I just said, God, I don't know if I could do this anymore. It hurt me. I felt destroyed. I realized that wasn't God. That was the devil trying to hurt me beyond measure. At that moment, I didn't hear some big voice from heaven, and everything was taken away. But he gave everything I went through and turned it into a purpose. My pain, my anxiety, my heart was pushed into a purpose. There were days when my anxiety was so bad I couldn't even breathe right. Nights when I sat in silence asking, where are you, God? Why does it still hurt? And the crazy part is, he never answered. In some big dramatic way. It was always small. A song that hit different. My daughter's laughter. A moment of stillness when I could finally breathe again. That's when I realized faith doesn't always shout. For a long time, I thought faith meant everything was supposed to get better fast. But it didn't. It was messy. There are days I still feel anxious, overwhelmed. Days I don't think I can keep going. But somehow God keeps showing up in the little ways. And it just whispers, keep going. He shows up in people who check in, moments that give you hope, people who see you and want to help, even if it's simple conversations with somebody at work or on the phone. And it reminds you that the pain doesn't mean punishment, it just means process. Faith doesn't pull you out of the dark, it teaches you how to walk through it. It doesn't take away depression, grief, or addiction overnight. It gives you something to hold on to while learning how to heal. Come on, Patrick. It gives you purpose. I used to think mental health struggles meant I was weak. That if I truly trusted God, I wouldn't feel so broken. But now I see it differently. Maybe faith isn't about falling apart. Maybe it's about trusting that even when you do, God can still put you back together. Piece by piece, grace by grace. Come on. There was a time I thought God was disappointed in me. Now I know He was just waiting for me to stop pretending I was okay, so He can meet me right there in my mess. Faith isn't about perfection. It's about presence. His presence, even when you can't feel it. So if you're watching this and you've been fighting silently, maybe with depression and addiction, anxiety, or just trying to hold it all together, I want you to know this. You're not broken beyond repair. You're not too far gone. You're becoming. God still has His hand on you. He's still breathing purpose into your pain. He's not waiting for you to have it all figured out. He's already sitting beside you in the middle of your questions. Faith doesn't erase the hard days. It just gives them meaning. It gives you something to come back to when your mind tries to convince you there's no hope. And maybe that's what I love you back really is. It's that moment when God whispers through the chaos, I still love you. And you say, I love you back. I love you too. You're in that place right now, feeling lost, tired, or like your faith is hanging by a thread. Just know you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. You just need a little willingness to believe that love is still real, even here. I don't think faith was ever supposed to mean life gets easier. I think it's what helps you breathe when life gets real. There was a time I lost mine, not just my faith, but myself. I remember waking up one morning thinking, I don't even know who I am anymore. Everything around me looked the same, but inside I felt gone. And I was mad. I was mad at God for that. I used to pray like, why do you keep letting me hurt? If you're real, why does it still feel like this? But what I didn't realize at the time was God wasn't trying to take the pain away. He was teaching me to stop running from it. I think faith starts to get real when things you believed in theory have to carry through something in reality. It's easy to say, God's got me. until you're standing in the middle of a storm you didn't ask for. And when I hit that low, I didn't feel God standing in front of me. I felt him sitting with me, quiet, still, not fixing everything, just being there. That's when something shifted. Stopped praying for escape, started asking for endurance. I said, God, if you're not going to take the storm away, then show me how to walk through it without losing myself. That, I really lost myself. Faith didn't make my mental health perfect. It didn't erase the anxiety, the guilt, the waves of sadness. But it gave me something stronger than hope. It gave me meaning. Now when I look back at everything I've survived, I can see his fingerprints all over it. Not in the easy moments, but in the nights I thought I wouldn't make it. Man, there were a lot of those nights. I've learned that God isn't scared of our depression, our anger, our doubt. He's not standing at the door waiting for us to clean up. He walks straight into the mess with us. And that's what changed my relationship with him. Faith stopped being about pretending I'm fine and started being about being honest with him, even when my voice shakes. So if your faith feels small, if you're tired, if you're numb, if you don't feel close to God right now, I just want you to know he's still close to you. He's not waiting for your perfect prayer. He's already in your pain, whispering, "You're still mine." Sometimes faith isn't loud. Sometimes it's just choosing to stay, to breathe, to believe that love can still find you here. Because I've seen it. I've lived it. And that's why I say, I love you back. If you don't know me already, my name is Derek, and this is I Love You Back. Because I do.